Hello and welcome to Persona Powwow. I'm your host, Tyler Rims, aka Tyler the Racist, Taira Shimazu, Silver Bowl Cut, and a bunch of other names that don't make sense and they just change every week. I'm here with Zero. Zero, introduce yourself.
Hello.
And
I'm acquainted with the racist.
and Sly.
Hi, I'm Sly. I was dragged in here against my will. It's pretty great.
That's good.
It was very
I
great.
don't appreciate you lying about it, but
I never
I
lie.
recall it. You were kind of excited.
No, I never lie. It's
Yeah, you're
impossible.
right.
Yeah.
So here on Persona Power, what we do is we discuss aspects of the Persona games, be it characters, plot, music, all the nitty gritty. So without further ado, we'll just hop into getting to know each of us, how we got into the series and whatnot. We'll start with Sly here, since I haven't heard his story.
Okay, it's actually kind of weird because me and my best friend IRL, I actually do have friends outside the internet, believe it or not.
Oh,
That's actually the greatest lie. But yeah, we were like actually a marching band and we were watching football games and we were really bored because, marching band, we have to like sit and like play music there. It wasn't all that great. And so we were just talking about random RPGs and he was like, "Dude, you need to go and play this game called Persona." And I would literally just ask him a bunch of questions about it because I had nothing else better to do. And then he just got it to me for my birthday. And so I played it, and then it took me like 2 months, but I beat Persona 3. Then after that, I immediately bought a PlayStation Vita. I'm not articulate. Vita. It's a pretty good handheld.
Media means life.
The
Yeah.
NVIDIA Shield.
What's that?
Don't ask.
Okay. But yeah, I immediately bought a Vita and then beat Persona 4 Golden in like 3 weeks, and then I had to wait 2 years for... Actually, yeah, it was 2 years for Persona 5, and that was a very painful wait, but I really loved it, so...
I
Yeah.
just remembered how young you are compared to me.
Yeah,
How old are you, Sly?
I'm 19.
Oh, geez, you're a baby compared
very-
to me at ripe 21.
Me sitting here at 24, like... I was in school and I got a Vita, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
What year is it?
yeah,
Alright.
Then I just remembered that I'm old.
yeah, I would play Persona 4 Golden, like, in between classes and stuff. It was pretty fun.
God.
All right, Zero, you're up next. How'd you get into
Man.
Persona?
I rented Persona 3 once because it looked cool, and there was nothing on the back of the case that said what it was. Just the protagonist and Thanatos, and I was like, yo, that's pretty dope. I'm gonna play that. And then it just all went downhill from there.
And now you're part of the Persona fandom, and you're loving seeing how messy it's gotten. Just a little messy. Just a bit.
It's great. It's so good.
And,
I don't hate each and every person that's part of it at all.
Yeah.
and that's
Not
why,
even myself.
And that's why I'm starting my own fandom. Easy.
That's why you're starting it. You'll steer it in the right direction.
I'll steer this fandom.
What does that mean? We don't know right now.
I guess I'm last here. My
Who
story.
else would go? No one else is here.
Fucking shut up. Anyways, so my story's a bit weird. We've all heard it, I think. So it started on Xbox, where PlayStation is known for. PlayStation Persona, man, I'm tired. Anyways, Zero
All those
here.
Persona games on the Xbox.
And our friend, our mutual friend Haku, talked to him the other day. Actually,
We'll
They were-
have to talk about that later.
they were playing Persona 4 Arena on the Xbox 360,
As you do.
and I was like, man, I don't have any games to play with these guys. I'm lonely as fuck, you know. I don't have anything to do. I feel left out. So I drove to GameStop and I bought Persona 4 Arena, but I couldn't drive to the nearest GameStop. The nearest. Man.
What a good day.
I couldn't drive to the nearest GameStop because they didn't have it, so I had to drive like 2 more GameStops out, which is like a whole nother city. It was a pain in the ass. But I started playing Persona 4 Arena, and I was like, yeah, these guys are cool. Why is the story mode so full of talking? It's been 2 hours. I haven't fought anyone yet. And that was fun. I never got good at it. And then...
No, he didn't.
So I was like, well... I mean, I used to think Rise was called Rise.
Those were dark times.
I used to think Yosuke fought with fucking traffic cones, like air traffic cones you see at the airport. That's what I thought. I was an idiot. I didn't know. I thought Teddy was a girl and a boy. There's just 2 people in there.
Well, Tyler's 2017. He can be whatever you want.
Well, back then it wasn't. All right.
Good point. Fair enough. Keep going.
So after that, I was like, well, I gotta play the real Persona games. So I opened up my tablet and I downloaded some PSP emulator, and I got Persona 3 Portable, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start with Persona 3, cause why not? It's there, and man, I didn't like it, not at all. I mean, it was alright, but I got bored.
And then you played Persona 4, then you decided the
No,
series pretty cool.
no, don't make
Hey,
assumptions.
don't jump in!
Okay.
So I got bored. I put it down. I tried again, started over. Same thing happened. Got bored. So I was like, well, Persona 4 Golden's out. I should play that. What's it on? The Vita. Okay. I guess I'll buy a Vita. So I bought a Vita for my birthday. But here's the thing. I bought the game like 2 months before. So I just kind of had a cart of Persona 4 Golden sitting on my desk, and I couldn't play it.
He was just sitting there, mocking you.
It was mocking the hell out of me. So I bought Persona 4, and again, like Sly, I was in high school. That was senior year, though.
God.
I would play it. I played on the bus to school. I played it in class. It was really close to the end, though. So I beat it once I got to college, and I just been playing Persona ever since. You know.
Yeah, that
Don't think I left anything out there.
No, not like me.
Yeah, not like you.
The last time we did this, my story's like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, because you also rented like Final Fantasy something, and you were like, well.
Yeah, I rented Final Fantasy 10. I started playing Persona 3. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the story.
That's me. That's my story.
Sly, what all Persona games have you played?
I've played P3, P4, and I think I played all the P4 spin-offs and Persona 5. I think the only, and the different ports of 3. I don't think I played the original PS2. There's no reason to play it once you have Fez, because it's just basically a Game of the Year edition.
Reason.
No, but the only ones I haven't played are 1 and 2.
All right. What about you, Zero?
I've played 1, 2 Innocent Sin, 3 Fest Portable, 4 Golden, all those spin-offs, 5, and I'm gonna play the 5 spin-off and the 3 dancing game, and I have a problem, and I'm financially irresponsible.
You're gonna love Persona Q2, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be amazing.
Long story short, I've played all of them but Eternal Punishment.
So I played 1. I didn't finish 1. I played it though. I played both of 2s. I played 3 Portable. I played 4 Golden. I played 5. I played Arena and Ultimax and Dancing, and I'm gonna buy the 3 Dancing and the 5 Dancing, even though I don't really like 3. But whatever, I'm gonna buy it because I have to.
You're a Persona slave.
I played Q, maybe like an hour and a half of it. Didn't get far. I'm not gonna buy Q. I'm not gonna buy Q2. I'm not gonna try.
Just do it.
I'm not. I don't even have a DS anymore.
You should go and play more bad video games. It's pretty fun.
And speaking of bad video games,
Let's hop into 3.
Persona 3 is not a bad video game. It is the greatest masterpiece of all time.
How about you simmer down there, Padre?
So a little disclaimer here. I've never finished 3. Probably never will. So this conversation is not going to be a lot on me, but I'll be there with my moral support when I can.
Your moral support. That's what we need.
Like you said earlier, I'll be there with the he's cool and the she's hot,
To clarify the disclaimer, Tyler's gonna fall into obscurity in about 10 minutes. If that.
Just gonna be me and Zero arguing. That is definitely, totally the purpose of this video. And not to just discuss good video games.
If you make it an argument, I'm going to win.
Ah.
Because I win, and I'm always right, and I know how that makes me sound, but man, when it stops being true, I'll stop saying it.
Yeah, you're right.
Alright. So, what do you guys think about the plot?
It's alright?
Like I said, in the past, I've been pretty vocal on Twitter about me going and saying, oh man, I think Persona 3's story is really great, and looking back, I did notice that there are actually quite a few problems. Most notably, the beginning doesn't really have much plot going on at all. Like, once you get into, them trying to go in and fight the different 12 large shadows, there's nothing really, outside of a few trips, there's not really much substantial events really going on in terms of the narrative until around October. I don't know. Are we, cool with talking about spoilers in this or not? I don't know. Are we?
The game's been out long enough.
Okay, fair enough. Until I'd say until around Shinji's death, right before then, before Shinji's death, I really don't think that there is much really going on in terms of this plot. It's pretty slow. Yeah. It's more so focused on, like I said, Persona has almost always been more focused on making a more fun cast of characters than really having a great story. I know that, some people might be a little pissed off when I say that, but...
Sly, no.
But I think the Shin Megami Tensei series has been more consistent with its storytelling, and I think Persona has always been a little better with making fun characters. So, in terms of Persona 3, I don't think the plot is amazing. I think it sometimes is pretty fun, but for the most part, it's largely uneventful until the very end of the game. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's his biggest problem. It's like, here's a bit of story, here's a lot of nothing.
Here's a lot of nothing for the social links.
Here's a lot more nothing, and here's just everything else.
Yeah.
Probably why I fell out of it.
We're gonna kick it into high gear right now.
Yeah, like I said, every month is just like, oh man, let's defeat the shadow, and okay, we defeated it. Let's go in and have social links.
See you next month, my dudes.
Yeah, and then I think the plot really only kicks into high gear, quote unquote high gear, when you defeat all the 12 shadows, and then the quote unquote plot twist that definitely everyone didn't see coming. When it's revealed, oh man, we weren't actually contributing to destroying the Dark Hour, we were just ensuring that humanity was doomed.
We were actually doing the bad thing.
Yeah! So, until that point, I really don't think Persona 3 has... It doesn't really have much of a plot until the very end. So, I think talking about its story is kind of difficult, because not much of one.
For reference, I only made it a bit past the beach trip. After that,
man, you probably shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, probably not. But
but here you are.
Here is me.
We need you because, man.
For some reason, we'll figure it out later.
Tyler, you're doing most of the work here.
All right.
Like, I love
But
Persona 3. I still think the game is still overall pretty fun, but I won't really say that it has a great story. I've seen a lot of people go in and rush to the game's defense in terms of its narrative, but I'm kind of lighter on that particular subject,
Like-
so...
the message it's trying to deliver, I'm fine with that. I get it. It's good. It's fine. But it felt almost just crammed in that last bit.
Little
Like,
bit.
if it was steadily spread throughout the game, and then it came to a head right then. But it didn't. It was, here's a bit, nothing. Here's a bit, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's 98% of it.
And, you know, to be fair, I think I do think Persona 4, and to some extent, Persona 5 does suffer that same problem. And I don't think it's as bad as Persona 3, but Persona 4, a lot of, especially its first few months, it's like, okay, this person was thrown into the TV, let's go save them, let's not learn anything about the killer, and then, you know, nothing really substantial happens until later. I do think that this is actually kind of a consistent problem. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself since we're doing Persona 4 later, but...
Just a bit,
but...
You're going somewhere with it, I assume, so continue.
Yeah. But like I said, I think in terms of... and, you know, Persona 5, I guess to some extent, but, you know, I think Persona 5 was a little better in that it had some nice world building, and each month had its own villain. And Persona 4, every single time you had one of those kidnapping events where, you know, okay, Rize is put into the dungeon, and that entire month is spent solely, or that entire dungeon is spent solely for Rize's character development. So even though you're going through this dungeon, and, you know, it might not seem like too substantial, you're still learning stuff about these characters, about the cast, and it kind of helps you be able to get to like them a lot more. I don't think, you know, when you're going and fighting these shadows, I mean, I guess, you know, you do get, like, one new party member, but outside of, you know, you just go in, fight the big shadow, you're not really learning too much about the characters, the cast, or really about anything about the world building while you're going on these operations. I don't feel like anything about the narrative is really being furthered during these major plot events.
No, most of the dialogue is just centered around that.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, let's go fight the shadow. All right, let's go home.
Yeah, and I think ultimately the later Persona games realized, okay, they want to keep this, you know, let's fight this one, you know, go through this one dungeon and one boss every month. They kept that structure, but I think the later games, they did a better job of, okay, let's try to get some a lot of character development, or, you know, in Persona 5's case, let's develop this particular part of the world and this particular part of our theming. I don't think Persona 3 really did that. And that's kind of my biggest problem with the story. I think they needed to have at least, you know, like before the Shinji event, I think they needed to be able to put more effort into developing these characters in these beginning portions. Because once the Shinji event happens, then I believe Junpei has his arc happen. And, you know, after that, Aigis has her arc. And, you know,
and boy, will we be getting to Aigis' arc.
But, you know, it's just like those beginning portions, you really feel like there's a lot of nothing happening. And that's kind of Persona 3's story's biggest problem.
Yeah, and like when somebody like Tyler falls out of it because there's so much nothing, you can't blame them, really.
No!
Because if there's no substance there, there's no real drive to keep going and playing the game.
No, I know actually a lot of people, I actually do know a few people who went to the beach trip and they said, there's just nothing here for me. The gameplay's not selling me, and the story and characters just aren't doing anything for me. And I just tell them, you know, that's fair. Not everybody has time to play, like, you know, an 80-hour RPG. So,
yeah,
I know a lot of, and, you know, I know a lot of fans get a little defensive on that particular point, and, you know, try to go in and say, oh, just keep playing, but
I think it's because a lot of people started with Persona 3, so they're going to be like, no, you'll love it, trust me. This was my first one, so you gotta trust me, it gets really good.
Kind of like me and getting Zero to watch Gaim. Oh.
And to be fair, Zero,
I should watch Gaim.
To be fair, Zero, I did the exact same thing for a long time, and now I'm just kind of like...
You did.
But you know, like I said, now I've noticed people, and I kind of understand where they're coming from.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either, because you just want people to play this game you really like.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really fault the game for it, because the shift between 2 and 3 is incredible.
Yeah.
Because 2 is incredibly almost linear. Where you go from point A to point B, you fight, and then there's the characters, and the story is consistent throughout. And then you're shifting to a more social sim kind of game. Where it's just like, okay, we need to put so much more focus on all of these side characters, and blah, 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 and something had to suffer for it. It's unfortunate that it was the story, but if you're going to make all these social links and give them all different personalities and all this other nonsense, something has to suffer for it, since it's such a step kind of forward from 2.
Yeah, I think I agree there.
It went in a good direction, I think, after what we've gotten so far. But I blame that shift for it.
Yeah, I think Persona 3 was more of a foundational game, at least in terms of its narrative structure, because Persona 4 built on Persona 3's structure, and I think Persona 5 built on that as well. We'll get into those.
If that's how you look at it, it served its purpose pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, when you're going back and playing the game, looking at its narrative structure on its own particular merits, you start to notice the faults. So...
You know, once you take off nostalgia goggles, it was my first game, and I enjoyed it when I played it.
Your first game, like ever?
Tyler, how about you shut your mouth?
I've been doing that for a while. All right.
I think you know what I'm saying. You're just trying to pipe in. Chime in.
That's my job. It's me.
Yeah, Tyler, how about you? Once we talk about the characters, you can have your time in the sun.
Well,
Yeah.
good, because we're going there.
All right, no more plot talk. On to the characters.
All right, cool.
So, we can't really talk about Mr. Makoto, except for his
That's
design.
where you're wrong.
Okay, well...
His name's not Makoto, it's Minato. Minato.
Well, neither one is more canon than the other.
Well, technically, in the Persona Q Japanese gameplay trailer, they referred to him as Minato Erzado.
Well, technically, eat my dick.
Okay.
Why do people like him so much?
I don't like his face, you know? Something about his character portrait makes me want to hit him, you know?
Like, I don't understand the fascination with the protagonist here, or even in Persona 4, because they're nothing.
Persona 4, it's a lot of it is because people rush to the defense because of the anime, not necessarily the game adaptation.
And we will get to that.
Yeah.
But in Persona 3, he's nothing. He's just a design.
Even when I first played Persona 3, I went in and said, I was like, okay, this is a character where you're supposed to represent the character. Well, if they don't really have any personality, then why?
He doesn't have a personality. I mean, he has a bit of snark in his dialogue.
Yeah.
And people just try to really reach for that. Be like, no, this is his personality. He's kind of sarcastic. He's kind of indifferent. Like, no. Those are just words in a bubble. He's not actually saying them. These are your choices. You are making him say this. In Persona 5, we'll skip ahead here. Joker has a personality.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He does, yes, that's true.
He thinks in first person.
Yeah.
It's not like second person, I guess you'd call it. Like, you did this or you did that. He's like, I should really go do this.
Yeah. And Persona 5 has that, it makes you feel like you're influencing the character's decisions and what he is saying and how he responds to different personalities. It's a little different here when you're supposed to be putting yourself in the character's shoes. And
when you're just him.
Yeah.
He's just you. He's just you if you look like an emo teenager.
Yeah, even when I played the game, I was just like, they probably, if they wanted to have this sort of, if they wanted to do this immersive sort of storytelling, they need to at least have like a character customization, because that's typically what people do, or what game developers do when they want to have that immersive quality. Otherwise, you're trying to put yourself in the shoes of a character who has his own distinct design, and honestly, a lot of the time, I think it's just a justification for not really giving the character much of a personality. It's just, oh, it's an immersive thing.
It lent itself really well to like fanfic and the movies, of course.
Oh yeah,
But the game, it was not good. Like blank slate protagonists, they have a purpose. They are to make you feel like you are the one in that situation.
Mhm.
You're the one doing the thing. But at the same time, he has a backstory. His
Yeah, he
parents
does.
died. He got the thing put in him. That sounded really wrong.
Yeah, it did.
But nobody's gonna watch this who doesn't know what that means. So again, eat my dick.
I think Persona 3 and
I
Persona
don't know what
4.
it means, but
But
But you can't give him a backstory and not give him a personality.
yeah, I think that they didn't really do a great job in the immersive protagonist sort of idea that a lot of games try.
Which Persona 4 did improve on that a little bit more.
Persona 4 gave
Because
you more different types of dialogue.
You kinda had a personality,
Kind of.
but
You
not
could,
really.
you could tell that, you could
He
tell
was
stuff
almost
like,
more self-inserty.
I think they tried a little bit more to show that, oh, he's trying to cheer up Nanako. He has a very distinct connection to her, and I think they give you a little bit more variety in dialogue options, but outside of that, not too much else.
He's more self-inserty, but somehow less generic.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me, but we're rolling with it. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think of the other C's members?
okay, we'll start with Junpei.
Junpei, Junpei gets a bad rap.
He
I
does.
love Junpei.
Junpei,
I think
in the
Junpei's
modern-
cool.
he is. Good work, Tyler. Fill your quota. Junpei is one of the more realistic characters in all of the modern Persona games. Because he reacts like a teenage boy would react.
Yeah.
Like, after the shadows at the Love Hotel, he's getting jealous. Like, why are you the big hero guy, and I'm just Junpei? I'm helping too. I've done dumb stuff, I get it, but I want to be bigger than I am.
Yeah.
Like, Junpei immediately makes mistakes. Like, very first Full Moon Shadow that isn't the plot one at the dorm. He's just like, I'm going. I don't care what you guys say. I'm going. I'm gonna kill the thing. He doesn't, clearly, because why else would he be feeling like this midway through the game? But he has that moment where he eventually realizes that, man, I'm kind of a dick. I should apologize. And to his credit, Junpei apologizes. Junpei knows he has done something wrong. He knows he has been treating you unfairly. So he mans up and says, I'm sorry. Let's just keep being friends. And you don't really have a choice but to accept it, so that's fine. But I think a lot of the people have a problem with him because of what happens later, when he gets mad at you for something you had no control over,
Again.
because he's emotional and scared. I mean, you all just found out that you're going to die no matter what you do. If you fight, you die. If you don't fight, you die.
Yeah.
And the only one who has control over what happens is the protagonist. So Junpei gets really upset. Yukari kinda cracks a joke at the wrong time. She's trying to lighten the mood. We'll get to Yukari later. Man, that's gonna be my catchphrase. We'll get to that later. Take a shot. And people hate on Junpei so much because of these things, and it's like, he's realistic. Don't pretend you've never been jealous or that you've never been afraid about something and acted irrationally. Don't pretend like you're better than this. Junpei is a very good depiction of how a normal human teenager would react. He's been doing his best, and it's just not enough anymore.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with. I mean, honestly, I don't really have much else to add other than, I think, they've been trying to have, the best friend stereotype, or not stereotype, character archetype for a while, Junpei, Yosuke. I personally like Junpei the best. I think that in terms of his character arc, I think it is the strongest of the best bros, and I've just always I've just always really enjoyed his particular character. No, in terms of battle usage, he's not the best, but that's a separate thing.
He's good late game.
Oh, is he?
That's what I've heard.
I've benched him real early as far as I got.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? You could just solo the game with the protagonist after a point anyway.
I mean, like I said, Persona 3 is not like the hardest game, so
it's vanilla is whoa.
Is...
Boy, those AI teammates, man, artificial difficulty at its finest.
Yeah, that it does make the game.
Martin Karin.
I just didn't use Mitsuru ever.
Oh, I can't do that.
All right, well let's move on to Yukari here, next in line.
Man, Yukari, remember that whole speech I just had on Junpei?
Yeah.
Let's jump right into Yukari. Yukari's great.
I like Yukari.
Like, Yukari is tied with Junpei as most realistic modern Persona character. The reasoning is different, of course, because Yukari's almost perpetually mad. Like, and you understand why.
Yeah. I just thought the way you worded it was funny.
Yeah, I have a habit of doing that. Like, she gets a bad rap because she's realistic, and we'll get to the answer where this really takes place. But her dad dies in a huge explosion. I think that's how the chain of events went. I don't really care that much. Point is, her dad's dead. He worked for the Kirijo group, so she's trying to figure out what's going on there, and she constantly feels like she's having something hidden from her. And to be fair, she kind of is.
Yeah, a lot of the other people kind of fuck her over the entire game because they do not tell any of the details.
No. Mitsuru and, to an extent, Akihiko and Ikuchi don't tell the underclassmen anything.
Yeah, and since...
They're just like, let's go out and kill these things, and Yukari's just like, no. We're here risking our lives. We deserve some answers. And, yeah, she's a little forceful about it. And, to be honest, I didn't care much about Yukari. I was kind of meh on her until the scene on the beach, where she's just like, this isn't fair. Why is it my dad and not someone else's? I'm a bad person. You can just be like, nah, dude. It's fine. And Yukari has her character arc where she finds out what really happens to her dad. And she's like, yeah, I'll keep fighting. That's me. My persona's evolving. I'm crying in front of my TV. People can probably hear me. But... And then you get to the answer after the protagonist dies, and she's basically canonically in love with him. It's fine. She's the lover's arcana. It's not unexpected.
Yeah, and also she does show a lot of signs
she's
of...
grieving. She's grieving.
Yeah.
She is upset that this guy she was in love with is dead. She's never going to see him again. So when she finds out that, hey, maybe you can see him again, she's just like, that's it. That's what we're doing. That's it. I didn't want to be here in the first place. But if we're here, that's what we're doing. This is it.
She has a chance to finally reunite with a person she actually really, really cared about. And so she just took it on instinct. And, I think that's kind of fair.
She's emotional. She's lashing out. That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. She's not just being a bitch for the sake of being a bitch.
Which is the common criticism of her character in the answer.
Yeah, she's unhappy. She's upset. And I think maybe the forcing everyone to fight thing isn't that great, but you kind of needed a reason to fight your party members. Because, sure, what?
Because
no
that was the one thing that they were really marketing, at least in terms of the trailers and stuff. That you're gonna fight your party members, which to be fair,
your equipment actually matters on them.
Yeah, and that is a kind of interesting part of a fight. But yeah,
that's fine.
I think not many RPGs really do that too much, mostly because it's kind of hard to come up with a legitimate story reason for that. And I guess I have not seen the answer or its cutscenes. I want to eventually play through the answer. I know it's not great.
Man, don't do that.
I want to do it one day, and so I haven't seen the cutscenes.
I can tell you, don't.
I also hate myself, so I feel like it'll be fun.
I'm a person who loves watching you suffer, and I am telling you, person to person, just watch some videos.
Damn. Really? That bad?
Just watch some videos.
Okay.
There's no Persona compendium.
I know that, and
there's an immense amount of grinding.
I did hear about that. Like, I heard it's about...
I guess just kind of sucks as a protagonist, and we'll get to that.
We'll get to all of that.
Oh, good. I'll have nothing to say because I haven't played the answer, so I'll just okay, I'll take your word for it.
Man, I'll have to pull my weight even harder.
You'll have two people on the sidelines who won't be able to say much. It'll be great.
I like Yukari in her Ultimax.
Yukari's great.
Where she's like a Power Ranger. I like that kind of thing,
And we probably won't get to that.
No, but it's fine.
Who should we cover next?
Let's go to Akihiko.
Oh no, my computer's going to sleep.
Oh, no. My computer almost froze.
I'm good.
I'm alive.
Stop recording.
Everyone check your shit.
Okay, yeah.
Touch your mouse every once in a while. Or your pad, whatever. I mean, Slide, do you want to start this one?
Start which one?
Akihiko.
Okay.
Mr. Sonata.
Okay. Akihiko, it's kind of a difficult one, because I think I really enjoyed his character, but his character arc kind of ends really, really soon. Like, it ends right, I think it ends around the Shinji. Yeah, it ends right after Shinji's death. And so, he does have a decent backstory, he does actually really care about, the reason why he's actually going and fighting is because he felt like he failed when he couldn't protect his sister. His sister was attacked by the shadows, correct? Was that it?
I think his sister died in a fire at the orphanage or something. Yeah,
and he felt incredibly guilty because he couldn't be able to go in and save her, and so that's what...
Yeah, he felt he wasn't strong enough.
And
because
so...
he couldn't... I guess because he couldn't get past anyone and go save her? I don't know.
It's the symbolism, or it's the thematic thing where, you just feel like... it's just a different way of grieving, I guess, with the
gotta get stronger.
Yeah, gotta get stronger so that someone close to me doesn't ever die again, which...
Yeah, good luck with that, dude.
Yeah, but ultimately... What was his...
Gun.
Actually, I can't even remember what even happens, what his entire reason for him getting the persona, or his updated persona. What was it that he felt like... Okay, even though I couldn't protect Shinji, he's still watching over me, and I don't need to, always get buffer in order to be able to protect people better. I can't remember.
Something like that? I don't care. I'll be honest. I don't care enough about Akihiko to remember.
Like I said, I enjoyed his character before that point. I still liked it even after, but... in terms of actual character development, I think he ends up being one of the weaker ones, and he does kind of get shafted a little bit because, after that, he doesn't really get much character development after the Shinji arc, and he doesn't really go through any personal trauma like Junpei does throughout the game. Oh man, like
No, poor Junpei.
yeah. I mean, we didn't really talk about the whole thing with what was her name?
Chidori.
I should probably be remembering this, but it doesn't matter.
All right,
I remember
sorry.
this point. It's the move
Sorry.
Sasuke.
Sorry.
Never mind. Keep going.
It's fine. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Junpei had a girlfriend. She died.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. He had it rough.
Her life is inside of Junpei. That's a story for another time. We can continue with Akihiko
Did he get like
now.
a necklace or something? I don't know.
No, her life force is legitimately inside.
Yeah.
Junpei.
Yeah.
Oh, that's-
Because
She did that.
Junpei
died.
got shot, and he either completely died or he was about to die.
Oh, a real
And Chidori's
gun.
like, my persona kind of emits life, so here's my life.
And so she just gives it up, and Junpei's back.
And then Junpei gets a skill from it that's honestly not very good. But hey, who's complaining?
But yeah,
Somebody just messed up.
Whoops. It's fine.
Technical difficulties.
Sly
Yeah.
can just turn that part down.
yeah, I will.
He could
'cause-
turn you down, turn me up, because this probably isn't gonna go well for me.
All
But
right.
yeah.
Akihiko, that's what we're on. Yes.
Yeah, that's who we were on. I did enjoy like the different. I think what really hurt Akihiko was he really did need a social link. Because,
Sly,
yeah,
we'll get to that.
okay. I was just meaning he probably could have used it in the main game, and we'll get to that when we get to portable. So yeah.
We will get to that. Akihiko, for me, I felt he was just a whole bunch of nothing until that part with Shinji.
And then his character arcs is done.
Because Akihiko, why are you who are you? Why are you here?
He really doesn't do much.
Training, get stronger, protein, sure. Oh, Shinji, yeah, cool. Oh, Shinji's dead. Oh, you're learning. Oh, you're a good guy now. Oh, Akihiko, you're doing great. Oh, now you're back to nothing.
To be fair, Persona 3 like mentions protein like twice, and then in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, that's
He's been ruined by the meme.
yeah,
Sly,
yeah.
That's
and
just how
we'll
Persona
get to
goes.
that.
All right. Well, since Akihiko's a big pile of nothing, let's
His social link does drastically change how I feel about him.
let's move on to Fuka.
Skip
No,
over
sorry,
Mitsuru.
no.
I-
Scratch that. We're moving on to Mitsuru.
I have nothing to say
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Fuka.
yeah, Mitsuru, my girl. She's kind of boring.
Fuka? Yeah.
It's all right when you can.
No,
admit
we're on
that.
Mitsuru right
Oh,
now,
we are?
Sly.
Oh, we are? Okay. Wait, did you just say Mitsuru is boring?
She's kind of boring. And that's really weird for me to say because I like her the most. But,
It happens. It happens.
like, I always think that, oh, I'm doing this for my insert relative here. That's not interesting to me. It's so overplayed that I don't really care about that kind of motivation.
What's her motivation? Who's she doing it for?
She's fighting for her dad.
Her father. And to also,
He's still around,
atone
right?
for...
he eats it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
after the beach scene?
He does.
Yeah,
Before...
Ikutsuki straight up murders him.
Oh, wheelchair
her
man.
motivation beforehand...
Tyler, he's not in a wheelchair.
We'll get to that Zero.
No, we won't.
her motivation...
That's not on the docket.
Her
On the docket.
Mitsuru's motivation before it was to atone for the sins that her grandfather did, which he was the person who actually made all the shadow stuff, and so she felt like she had to take on the atonement of her particular group and her
And
family.
I hate that.
You hate that?
That happens a lot, you know.
I don't like that. I think that's terrible. That's awful motivation. It's so overplayed.
I know another example of it. I'm not gonna go into it because I'm not. But
Wow, thanks, Tyler.
I mean, do you want me to? I could
What
go
an
into
incredible
it.
contribution.
All right, so in Kamen Rider Drive,
There you go.
see, See, this is why I didn't want to go into it. But in Kamen Rider Drive, there's a character named Go, and his dad created all the monsters that you fight throughout the show. And he's like, well, I gotta take care of them all. I gotta kill them all, like my Uncle Ben told me. And even the ones that help him out and save his life, he's like, nope, fuck you. You gotta die. And it's really lame.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You immediately thought of something. You immediately thought of something else that basically suffers from this. That's not interesting. At all. Oh, my dad did the thing. Now I gotta suffer for it. No. I've said it twice before, but eat my dick. No, just... Yeah, Mitsuru's hot, and she's rich, and her social link was kinda nice at that part at the end where she's like, no, I want to be with this guy, you mean rich man. But...
She just really likes emo boys.
Well, who doesn't, to be fair?
Have you seen him?
He's always got his hands in his pockets, and he's listening to music, and he really just doesn't care about anything.
Get those weird headphones?
Sign me the fuck up.
Same. I'm wet just thinking about it. And, yeah, like, I'm over here like, yeah, Mitsuru's my favorite girl in the game. She's really boring, though.
That's how I feel about Kyoko.
Yeah. And man, when we do our Danganronpa discussion videos, whew.
Oh, good. I can't wait for my hot takes about how Ace Attorney is just way better.
So, moving on to Fuka.
Yeah, man, Fuka is...
You know...
She's nice.
You know...
Fuka's super nice.
Out of everyone, her character development basically has nothing to do with the thematics of the game. Like... Or at least in terms of her development and her background. Like, you know, she felt like, okay, I didn't have friends, and now okay, I have this friend, but she's going away.
Now my bully is my best friend.
Now my bully is my best friend, but she leaves. Oh, she left. Oh, Persona Evolve. When you think about it, she's the most out-of-place character. And I've had other people go in and I've like mentioned that on Twitter. And I've had other people say, well, it's because you can't have everyone associated with the thematic. Otherwise, it's too dark and depressing. Persona 3 is a very dark and depressing game. I mean, like I said, its thematic is fucking death. And it is inspired by Evangelion. Of course it's going to be fucking depressing as hell.
Evangelion itself is garbage. Come at me.
I've only seen 15 episodes, and...
Come at me, two people who will watch this video.
I've seen 15 episodes.
One of them being me.
The other being me. I'll have words for myself in the mirror.
But I'm gonna watch it. I'm a person. So that's 3.
Oh, well.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Let's keep going.
Yeah, Tyler, we don't do that in public. I mean, I guess you would be allowed, but we wouldn't be allowed to laugh at it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Fuka.
You could easily just say that Fuka's Persona evolved because her reason to fight is for her friends.
Yeah, like I said, that has nothing to do with the thematic.
It's kind of a stretch, but Fuka's whole deal is she's nice, and she's sweet. She can't cook because she's a priestess.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a thing.
And her voice acting isn't good.
Boy, is it not good.
Akihiko-senpai defeated an enemy.
Fuka's whole deal, I felt, throughout the game was to just stand around and say people's names.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time she just stand there going, Yukari-chan.
Because...
didn't even, like,
You're
re-record
dead.
those lines.
Because...
You're dead.
Mitsuru was too good as a navigator, and so we needed someone worse.
Thank God for those spin-offs, am I right?
Yeah, man. Spinoffs. I love them.
Here's Fuka. She's done dressing like somebody's grandma. Wendy Lee's her voice actress now. Look at that hair braid.
And she can't be a fighter.
And I think she'd be too frail.
She'd have 1 HP.
Her only move is Oracle.
All right. Who's next? Let's go to Koromaru. Let's talk
Koromaru's
about
a
the
dog.
dog.
Koromaru is cute, and he's a dog.
That's all Koromaru has.
Yeah. But that's why he's great.
He's the least offensive animal type character in Persona.
But his character development is more in line with the thematic of death than Fuka.
You're right.
Yeah.
Didn't his master die or something?
Yeah, his master
Yes.
died.
His persona doesn't evolve because he's just ready to fight all the time.
He's a dog. He can't get character development.
He doesn't need a reason to have his spirits picked up.
He's a dog.
Like, for all intents and purposes, the people of Seas are his new masters. And he's going to be beside them the whole way, so his persona doesn't need to evolve anymore.
Yeah.
His will has never really been shaken. Koromaru's ready to go at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
He also just wants walkies.
And he really wants to go. And he has that one scene where Aigis says that, Koromaru wants to go to the school.
Why?
Because he wants to be with Emo Kid. Because he has blue hair, and he's great.
I don't want either of those things. Moving on. Koromaru's not really the hottest bed of conversation.
He's great.
He's great. I love Koromaru.
He's better than that
Yes.
Ken asshole.
Man.
Speaking of Ken, I was gonna bring him up. You love Koromaru. Let's talk about Ken.
Ken
Amada.
is bad. Like,
Boy, do I hate him.
I do. I like Persona 3. I despised Ken. No.
Even before I saw Ken in the game, I've always hated, this small child wants to be treated like an adult. Cool! Now this one wants to be treated like an adult, and he has a huge murder boner for Shinji. It's his fault Shinji's dead. Come at me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And they never address that. He never once feels guilty about that.
And that's my problem with Akihiko. Akihiko never once even just had this twinge of, maybe this kid's kind of responsible for my best friend's death.
Yeah, they probably should have.
No. Eat my dick.
Because if Ken didn't call him out like that, and, threatened to kill him,
He never would have been there.
then Shinji and Ken would have never been separated, and they would have never been
They would
alone
have been
with
at the
Strega.
operation with everybody else.
And Strega would not have had an opportunity to kill Shinji. So it's the fact that Ken won't talk to anyone. I know some people might say, "Oh well, he's a kid, he's an irrational." A kid will not go in and say, "Meet me separated from everybody else."
I'm going to kill you, then I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, I just cannot believe that.
I get it. You're upset your mom's dead. You think Shinji did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Shinji. Shinji's been living with that every day since.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
if I see another argument of, he's just a kid, leave him alone, you expect him to blah, 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 shut up. Shut up. Go away.
Here's the thing about Ken.
You're wrong.
I think their counter argument was, oh, well, he's a kid and he won't consider that Shinji has been experiencing. Ken is he's not even written like a kid, half the time. He barely even acts like one. I know people say,
he has a few interlaced moments.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, oh, Featherman, yeah, cool. Oh no, I can't like that.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, he basically just.
You're 10.
He's written like any other of the other characters. He's not
10 years old, kid.
Yeah, like I said, and not to mention he is introduced, and in less than 2 in-game months, his character arc, quote unquote, is completed, and he gets nothing after that. And then when he becomes a teenager in Arena Ultimax, he becomes just a straight up asshole. But
But that did make me appreciate Ken a little more.
Oh, it did it?
Yes.
Huh.
Because he kind of stopped being, treat me like an adult, I'm just kind of better than you.
I mean, I guess, but I still found him kind of a dick after that point, and I didn't have any reason to like him.
He is. Do not get me wrong, he is. But I do enjoy characters like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
we'll get to that.
It's an improvement over basically just a very poorly written character. Ken
is worse than nothing.
Ken and Fuka are the weak points of Persona 3's cast. It's like, I enjoy characters like Junpei, and I know we're about to get to Aigis. I still like her character. I still like her character. I think that they are some of my favorites of the Persona games, but they do have a few pretty bad lows, which is why I think the cast kind of cancels itself out, and it's why overall I think I enjoy Persona 5's cast just a little more, because I think it's more consistent. Persona 3 is definitely the most inconsistent with its character quality. I like the cast overall, but I will concede to that point.
Their character quality is lower, but their development is better.
Yeah, because
they develop naturally throughout the story instead of having to do the social links.
Yeah, that is Persona 3's biggest strength over the other two games, is that, the character arcs, they are introduced and concluded, and it all comes together not really all comes together by the end, but they develop, and you don't have to see an optional character develop or optional social link just to get a complete character arc, except for Aigis. I think Aegis's character arc without her social link, it does end up falling short if you don't do that. That's the exception, but that is because of Fez, so yeah.
Man, Aigis. Oh.
Guess we're getting an Aigis.
Might as well.
Tyler, are we going to Aigis?
He's already started. Let's go.
He's already started.
Okay. Yumi, Zero, which one? Which one starts?
I'll go because I think mine might be a little more irrational and kind of wrong.
Go ahead.
I feel like Aegis's character arc came out of literally nowhere. Because, in my mind, my mind is terrible. Do not fault me for having a bad memory. I will openly admit that I may be wrong about this. But I feel like that one day she's just like, I'm a machine, I comprehend. And the next day she's just like, really depressed about it, like, I'm a machine, I could just be rebuilt. What is it like to live? Am I wrong?
Part of the reason why Aigis is on edge is because technically she's 10 years old. A lot of people don't remember that fact, but it doesn't really matter in terms of machine, but 10 years prior, she didn't really recognize this because she's a machine and she didn't think that she could have feelings, but she felt personally responsible because her fight with Ryoji 10 years earlier is what technically caused Minato to actually have the
internal bad touch.
Yeah, the nicks inside of her. And so she describes it that she wants to always be with the protagonist and she can't explain it, and the reason is because she can't, she doesn't realize that she just feels incredibly bad about what she did, and she wants to be able to actually go in, and I think it's redemption. It's been a little bit since I went and actually, I think it's been like a year and a half since I went in and played Persona 3. But
is it really redemption if everybody's like, you didn't actually do anything wrong, though?
And I think that's what everyone did eventually point out, and she did have a realization. I think it is self-redemption in some sense, and she realizes that, she does admit that at one point she was just solely motivated to be able to go in and protect because of the problem. I think that's the case. I might be wrong about that. But she does go in and admit that after all that time, she did develop feelings for the protagonist. And so her particular character arc is just her coming to terms with the fact that she actually does actually have human emotions, and she wants to fit in with everybody else.
Yeah.
And so that's where...
I understand what her character arc is, but I just feel like it was an on-off switch. Again, I could openly be wrong. I admit this. But I've always remembered it as one day she's fine, the next she's there.
I think what caused her to, be super
Like
on edge.
zero to 100 immediately.
I think it was because the reason why she got like super on edge was because she went in and fought Ryoji again, and she lost, and she was put out of commission for a long time, and she wanted to get back in so that she could actually go in and protect Minato. Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know. I don't like Igus anyway. And here's why. Like, if I'm wrong about it, it's probably because of this. I've never liked that kind of character archetype either. Robot that learns to feel.
Mm-hmm.
That one's very, very, very used.
I don't like that. Part of it's why I'm not really fond of Nier Automata that much.
Ah.
Like, I acknowledge that that's a great game and it's really fun, but I don't like that aspect of it.
Yeah, because that is definitely the major crux of Nier Automata's story and its characterization. So if you don't like that character archetype, that definitely will affect how you feel about Igus's character. I think Igus, for me, is probably... I actually do... I don't mind that particular character type if it's...
I get why... I do get why people like her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't think somebody's an idiot if they like Igus. Yeah. I think that about Ken. I'm very vocal about people who think that about
Kenji. We'll get to him.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll keep those short this time.
Yeah. Igus...
will we?
I don't know.
Yeah. I do enjoy Igus's particular character archetype, and I think it is one of the more standout examples of that, and it's one that I immediately recognize. And I do think... actually, my issue with her arc is that I think she does get a lot of development in the social link, because that gives a whole lot of clarity about why she cares about the protagonist. And ultimately, if you played vanilla, she doesn't get that. And so the ending where she is,
she gets it rough.
And where she is sitting next to the protagonist saying, "I'll protect you," I think if you don't do that social link, that ending has so much less impact. And, that is a problem. I think that if you do have the social link, it is a very touching ending. But if you didn't do that, then, man, that ending will not have a lot of punch. And I think if a game is designed so that you have to do this particular optional event in order for the ending to work, I think that's a pretty big problem. Because... That is absolutely a problem. You should be able to go in and sit through, the story, all the required stuff, and you should be able to have a complete experience. And I really think that ending... maybe there are plenty of people who... It's harder for me to be able to look and analyze this particular problem, because I have always... the first time I played through the game, I played and completed her social link. And that ending had a lot of impact. And it's hard for me to separate myself and say, well, if I never did that, would it have as much impact? But I really do think...
Let me tell you, since I did play Vanilla Persona 3 with that not in there, it does not have as much impact.
Okay, then that definitely explains it.
It is not nearly as good.
Okay. Yeah,
the core concept of it is still there.
Yeah, the core concept, it's not complete.
It's not as... There's not as much weight to it.
And that is definitely one big issue, because in Vanilla you don't get that, and Persona 3 Fez kind of circumvents it by having that actually very good social link. I think her social link does actually work quite well. But if you don't watch that, I really don't think that ending will work near as well, so...
It doesn't.
Yeah. I will concede to that.
And the ending in particular, where, spoilers, your character dies laying in her lap.
I actually didn't know that he died. I had to have someone tell me that he died.
First time through, it's kind of vague.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting tired. Your life force is fading away. You're only being kept alive by a promise. I think that ending is what drives a lot of people to say, oh, this game's so good. It's so good. No, it's not. this one emotional moment does not invalidate all the poor gameplay.
The
And-
ends do not justify the means.
Oh, are we gonna get right into the gameplay now?
No, not
Oh.
yet. We're
Okay.
getting there.
This is still more related to Igus than the gameplay.
Okay. Okay.
And yes, it's an emotional scene. I get it. I cried the first time. And maybe the second time, don't judge me. The third time though, nah, that's when I was wise to your tricks. And that's basically what it is. Oh, this made me feel this kind of way. This game's so good. No, that scene is good. That does not automatically make it a good game. This one little chunk of game does not invalidate the rest of the game. That's not how that works. It can be your favorite game for this one scene, but it's not the best one. This is going to turn into a rant. We got to move forward.
Okay, let's talk about Shinji.
All right.
That shouldn't be too long.
Well, he's dead, and he was in vanilla and fast. He was nothing. He was nothing but a device for Akihiko and Ken to move forward with their lives, and that's all he was.
And then in Portable, he gets a lot more.
And then in Portable, your boy Shinji. Optionally, your boyfriend Shinji.
But only in the female route, which, like I said, are we going to talk about it like a potential remake, like later in this, or not? Like, what a remake could do to improve at the end.
Maybe.
It could
Maybe.
come up.
Depends how we feel at the end.
Okay, fair enough. But, yeah, I just really wish that that particular social link was in the game in the first place.
Regarding Shinji, it's one of the reasons why I didn't actually mind playing Q too much. Because, hey, more Shinji.
Yeah.
Look at how he's interacting with his friends, and he's gonna die soon. That's gonna be sad.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic in Q because Ken actually is about to open up and might talk about it with Shinji, but then, you know.
And then it was all erased.
Yeah. Shinji's dead. No way to
That's
avoid that.
canon. Persona Q is canon.
Yeah, and even in Portable, he technically I believe he only has a few, because of all the drugs he took, he only has a few months left to live, so.
Yeah, Shinji's kind of just doomed.
There's no way he's getting out of that.
Just don't
He's
do
either
drugs.
getting shot or his organs are gonna shut down.
Ugh, poor guy.
The only way Shinji's gonna survive is basically if he gets all of his organs replaced, and that's not going to happen. Maybe. I'm not a doctor.
Poor guy.
I just play one on the radio.
Alright, well, last but not least, let's talk about Ikutsuki.
Is he even relevant enough?
How would I know?
You're right.
He's
Ikutsuki is a bad man.
he
is.
manipulated everyone.
I played Ultimax, but yeah, he is.
He manipulated everyone and caused the thing. Yeah.
He killed Mitsuru's dad. Tyler thought he was in a wheelchair.
I used
He
to think he
says-
was in a wheelchair.
He says some puns. Some really bad puns.
All the more reason to hate him.
And Fez has a camera scene where it's where he makes more puns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Ikutsuki kind of killed himself, so, you know, good.
Good on him.
Wait, did
And
he kill
that's
himself or
not
did
gonna
did they kill him?
Oh,
That's not going to look good on my resume.
I probably shouldn't have said that one. Alright.
No, Mitsuru's dad has a gun too, and he shoots him like in the side. And then Ikutsuki just kind of backs up off the observatory, I guess. So yeah, he kind of kills himself
Yeah, I guess.
after his
It's
big
fine.
plan was thwarted.
He just wanted to have salvation.
He wanted to be the Prince of the Fall or something.
And yeah.
And who doesn't want to be the Prince of the Fall, honestly?
Alright, Zero, we're gonna need that social link list because it's time for that.
I got you, boy. I think we can skip over the Fool because that's just C's.
Yeah, no one cares about C's.
Let's talk about how great of a character Kenji is.
This is importable. I gotta scroll back up. Kenji Tomochika. Boy.
He wants to
One
make
of
out
my
with his
most-
teacher.
Well, after Persona 5, I can't blame him. Because boy, did I want to make out with my teacher in that.
Now, I had the ability to finish his,
Okay,
his
go
session,
Tyler.
but I didn't. I hang out with him the one time where you get ramen or something, and then I never talk to him again.
Okay, don't go
That's it.
Tyler.
It'll come through in the video, don't worry. He just kind of cut out on Discord for a second.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I still have it here on my side.
All right,
so it's
cool.
fine. Don't think about it.
But
Kenji immediately rubbed me the wrong way.
a little bit.
I don't like his
'Cause-
face.
I also do not like his face, but that's not my driving reason. He comes up to you, he's all super friendly for some reason, and he starts asking about rumors about you and Yukari. And it's like, hey, it's not like that. And he's like, yeah, alright, cool. And the next day, he's like, hey, rumors about you and Yukari really aren't true. And you're like, nah, they're not. And he's like, not that I really care. Don't dig into my personal life like that and then say you don't care. Who do you think you are, Kenji? You think your teacher's in love with you? You? Kenji?
Who could love Kenji?
You stupid
Who
face
couldn't
and your
love Kenji?
raincoat.
Because of his face and raincoat.
He wears a raincoat. It's very dumb.
I hate that. I hate that even in real life with people. Don't be coming at me with real personal stuff then be like, "Oh, I don't care." No. 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 Absolutely not. Kenji can go die.
Well, he takes you out to eat a couple times.
He does pay for my food,
Yeah.
but I wish there was an option to drown him in his ramen.
Okay, I don't have anything else to say about Kenji because he's bad. So, let's move on. On my list, it's the Emperor. I can't pronounce it because I can't Japanese.
Hidetoshi Odagiri.
Yeah,
He looks like an old man.
He does.
He doesn't like bullying.
He was kind of cool. I hung out with him
Who
a few
does,
times.
to be fair. I'm really indifferent to him, like most of these social links, because they're bad. It's just like, hey, I'm here. Find out who's smoking in the school.
To be fair,
I'm
people do him
taking
really
this too
important,
far.
though.
Oh, I got punched.
people do him just so they can get Odin, so they can choose the Reaper.
Yeah, I wanted Odin, so I talked to him.
That's why you do him.
I
Phrasing.
wouldn't use that wording.
He looks like an old man. Please splice in a picture of him.
But what about Miyamoto? Kazuichi? Mani?
You skipped the old couple.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
no
on a
couple.
list where...
With their dead son in the tree.
Okay, I'm on a different list, so you guys do it instead of me.
Of course, there were the party member social links we've also skipped. But
Yeah, whatever.
we've covered party members. There's nothing significant in those. Fuka can't cook.
Yukari doesn't like her mom.
Mitsuru has an arranged marriage she wants out of.
Oh.
You're caught up,
Is that what Mitsuru's about?
more or less.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You're never gonna find out.
No.
Uh,
The old couple are nice.
they're nice.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Bunkichi and whatever. You know.
Bunkichi and Mitsuko.
I
Kitamura.
actually can't believe I got that name right of all names.
Tyler, you nailed it. You can ride that high for the rest of the night.
I'm so bad with names.
At least you didn't say, like, Ted or something.
Yeah.
'Cause, boy, are you not good at names.
Yeah, Yell Couple's nice. I mean, I can't remember, like...
The story's kind of sad.
Yeah, the tree. Oh, yeah,
Tree
it was
and
about
their
the
dead
tree.
son.
Yeah.
They don't want the tree to get chopped down or something.
Yeah, it was that.
And then they're like, nah, it's fine.
Nah, it's cool. We need to move on. We need to, come to terms with the fact that the tree's gonna die. 'Cause...
Just like our son.
Tyler, too soon.
Is it?
No. Yeah, there's not much to say about them.
All right, who's next, Zero?
Your boy, Kazushi Miyamoto.
Uh-huh,
My knee!
Whoever that is.
My knee!
Tyler, he's the sport boy.
He's the guy who has his...
Oh, Kaz! Kaz man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad leg. I'm still
Yeah,
gonna fight even though
his
my
knee.
leg's bad. Because I'm just gonna fuck it up more like an idiot.
He just talks about his knee the whole time. That's it. That's his character.
Yeah.
My knee Kaz.
He's an idiot.
He is.
I'm not going to get this repaired because I promised my nephew I'd be the number one athlete in Japan. One, just have the surgery and offer to go through rehab with your nephew. Boom. Problem solved.
But what if he
Goodbye,
just loves
Social Link.
What if he just loves the sport enough that even with his injury, he wants to go in and have fun with his friends, like Yoshi
You
Tepe.
can't continue to
And
do
all
the sport if your
three
leg's
of the
fucked
sports,
up.
all three of the sports are rough on your legs.
Let's just be honest, and let's just all say Kyoshi Tepe is just basically the bigger and better Kaz.
Do not disrespect Tepe like this ever again.
Don't ever compare Tepe to Kaz, alright?
But they both have an injury and they both love sports. So that's enough of a comparison for me to
No.
go...
It is not.
Not at all.
Stay tuned for our Kuroko basket
Tepe
discussion
has
we
a
have
name
to have.
for himself before you even meet him. No one knows who the fuck Kaz is, alright?
No one cares.
Anyway,
I
move
do!
on. Who's next?
He likes Sneak!
Yeah, Chihiro.
Yeah, Chihiro.
She's afraid of men.
She's not very good at the men.
And she's one of the few social links that if you go in and kiss her,
Yeah, she gets kind of upset.
yeah, it reverses
Just
the
hold
social
her
link.
hand.
Yeah, I didn't do that. She get mad. You know?
Do you think she's easy? Tyler?
Okay. Since we're on the
Maybe a
social link
little.
section, since we're on the social link section, I actually do think it is an appropriate time to talk about this. Reverse social links, bullshit. In Persona 3.
Yes and no.
No?
Because that's kind of realistic. Somebody's gonna get mad at you if you do something stupid.
Okay, I get that. And, I don't mind it for, like, plot stuff, like, if you say the wrong thing. But the whole... I understand, if you don't spend time with someone, they're gonna wonder, oh, what are you doing? I thought we were gonna do stuff, and...
Oh, like if you
But
don't hang out with them for a while and they get super salt.
That's the part I'm talking about.
That happens?
That is... Yes!
Yeah, you mean the fate that befalls Kenji every time I play Persona 3?
Yeah, because, Tyler, just to let you know, if you don't... Unlike Persona 4 and 5, if you don't visit a social link member in a certain... If you, for a male member, if you don't do one event in 3 months, they will reverse their social link. And, yeah, you basically have to go in
With
and
a
say the
male
right...
member?
Yes, with a male member. With a female member, I believe it's halved. It's either 2 or 3 months, but I know with the female member, you have to spend more time, and then it's halved again when you're intimate with them. So if you're intimate with them, which is required, and that's bullshit. But
Forced harem.
Forced harem. But you have to visit them once every 2 weeks. If you don't do that, it'll reverse.
That sounds like a pain.
Yeah. If you want to do a max confidant,
It's not great.
if you or not confidant, if you want to do a max social link playthrough, why am I mixing those up?
You almost said confidant again.
I know, but if you want
Son,
to do,
you sure you don't need notes?
but if you have to go in and if you want to do a max social link playthrough, you absolutely have to juggle 2 girls at once. And if you, spend time with one girl, I believe it takes off a few days. Or the way it works is that, okay, if you're intimate with 2 girls at the same time, you visit one, you have to alternate to the other because it'll actually, the penalty will be a few days off of the times you can visit. So it's like if you are
Okay,
balancing,
but what if you're dating 4 girls?
you're fucked. Because,
And you have to date 4 girls.
I mean, you do, but if you do them all at the same...
You have to date them all.
Yeah, if you do them all at the same time, you literally cannot avoid the penalty. It's impossible. You can't do 3. I don't think you can do 3. You might, but once you finish it, obviously you're good. But until you finish it,
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah, because one time I took a break with Mitsuru, and at rank 9, I was trying to balance between them. I was like, okay, I got a visitor on this day, and she was reversed that day, so I had to go back like a week so that I could... And it was at the very end of the game where I couldn't make it up. So...
Rotate your saves, kids.
Being a cheater's hard.
Yeah, rotate your saves in every Persona game. If you don't do it, you're playing it wrong. I knew one person who literally would not rotate his save, and he did it right before a boss and was really underleveled, and he didn't have a save to go back to. I mean, he could have went to Tartarus, but he actually went in and said, "Oh well, I have a dead game," and so he restarted, and then he never finished it.
What a hero! Was it Tyler?
It was not
No.
Tyler.
Ever since I learned about two best friends, I've never not rotated my saves in every game I play. Unless they just won't let me, and then
Yeah,
that's fine, I guess.
I
Gotta
just
rotate your saves.
I always rotate your save.
Bonus
Save.
message: rotate your saves.
But yeah, the jealousy system is, well, I mean, not always realistic, but it's really bullshit, and I'm really glad they took it out in other games.
Well, technically realistic, somewhat. It's not a good game mechanic.
Oh
It
no,
doesn't lend itself
it's
well to
very
gameplay at all.
frustrating. And
It's almost like Persona 3 sucks.
it's one mechanic that I really hate in the game, but they took it out in portable, I think. So there's that.
I'm not gonna go test that.
I would never know, so...
I believe
You wouldn't.
I believe they took out the jealousy mechanic in Persona 3 Portable. Which
Somebody fact check that. Somebody who's not us.
okay, I'll fact check it in editing, and place.
You are also part of us.
Yeah.
Sly, don't do any more work than you have to.
Oh, okay.
Somebody
Okay.
can watch this and tell us later.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Gee.
But we're
Chihiro.
gonna be the only 3 watching it, so yeah, you may as well do it.
I finished Chihiro's S-Link. I did.
What?
I did like her S-Link. I mean, it was alright. I don't remember a lot of it.
She kind of learned to stand up for herself.
She did, and that's fine.
That was
She's
nice.
Cute. She's cute, that's why I talked to her.
Yeah, she's a cute glasses girl.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like the glasses.
When I forget her name, I just call her Glasses Wife.
Yeah, that's her.
And Yuko's Tan Wife.
Yeah, that's her.
Who's Yuko? We don't know right now.
Who knows? But I mean, that's as much as I gotta say about it.
Yeah, that's about it for Chihiro. She's not that interesting.
Who's-
What about your teacher, boys? What about Miss Toriumi / Maya?
Okay,
Gamer Grill?
outside
Grill.
outside of the lingo that is really dated, I think that it is a really funny social link. At least it had a funny twist at the very end. I think that one was actually a fun one.
It had its moments. But like I'm gonna sound terrible saying this. And at least I'm not gonna sound homophobic. Yet.
There's still time.
I don't think she's very attractive. And like a lot of the message boards I would always go on, people were like, "Oh, Miss Toriumi's so hot." Like, do we see the same character?
She's alright. I mean,
Well-
she's kind of like an uglier Yukari.
They have
But
the same hair.
They do. Except
To be fair,
we probably know the length of one of those.
though, Zero, you never see her portrait once throughout that social link until the day before the last, where you can
You are
go
correct, sir.
So you know,
But there are clues left behind there if you don't already know or
There are
haven't
a lot
figured it out.
they have a lot of clues.
You can just be like, "Oh, it's her. Cool."
Yeah, there's this one
Like,
edgy guy in
early
their
on.
class. Like
And-
they eventually spell it out for you.
Even in class, she's like, "I've mastered leet speak." Have you? Is that a thing you done?
Yeah,
I don't know.
they left a lot of clues, and thankfully, because I'm not very smart, I didn't see any of them because I wasn't paying attention.
I knew
Oh, I-
beforehand because
I was just a wee
looked
baby
it up.
child when I first played the game, so I didn't figure it out very quick either.
But yeah, the scene where you can go in, like, I believe this was added in Fez, But you can go in and like visit all your social link partners after you completed the game and see some funny stuff, or you see some scenes where they go in and say like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this after the school year." The scene,
Yeah, hilarious when you go to see Akinara's mom. She's like, he's dead.
but
Here's a notebook. Hilarious.
Real funny, Sly. This
Fuck
dead
off.
guy.
Fuck off.
This dead guy, you were his only friend. He dedicated his book to you. Hysterical.
Fuck off. But the Miss Toriumi scene was probably one of the funniest ones in the game.
It was. Where she's like, you want to maybe get dinner? And then she runs away.
Yeah. Well, does she know? He dies, so she's not getting that dinner.
She ain't getting that dick.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
the dinner's more important. She's a teacher. She doesn't make much money.
So who's next, Zero?
Man, everybody's favorite character, Kisuke Hiraga.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the?
Man, Tyler, you sound like you remember him. Do you?
Is he the?
Absolutely.
Is he-
Kisuke Hirata, my favorite social link in
Hiraga,
Persona.
Tyler, with a G.
Yeah.
Is he the
That's
photographer?
what I said.
He's the photographer, or the artist, or the music man.
That kid.
I never finished that social link.
Good.
It bored
Don't.
me.
I never started it. Maybe,
Because,
maybe I
Man,
think.
Kisuke, oh, here's his thing. He's mad that his dad is like, yeah, be a doctor. And he's like, no, I want to do what I want to do. Then his dad's like, you know what? Do what you want to do. And then he gets mad about it.
What?
Like, what do you mean do what I want to do? And then at the end he's like, I'm going to be a doctor.
Oh,
Screw.
I don't-
There he is.
I don't like those kind of social links.
There's your boy Kisuke.
Can we move on? That's bad.
We'll talk about that one when it gets to Persona 4 and how I don't like that kind.
Will we?
We will.
Good. Tyler.
Anyways,
Your girl, Yuko.
yeah, you go.
She's bad.
Yeah.
But I like Yuko.
Yeah.
I
Tyler,
think
the
she's
bastion of
alright.
taste.
I like helping the kids do the race thing, you know?
Okay, she was cool until rank 8, where she was trying to get in my dick, and I was super creeped out.
Yo, I was all for it.
Of course you were.
I wasn't. I was creeped out. I was just like, okay, nah, I'm not doing your social link. And then
She like to eat. I'm ready. I'm in.
I reversed it and then never looked back.
Good.
How dare you? You're fucking dead to me.
No second
Just
date.
now, after every single shit I've done, that is the tipping point.
Yes. Our first date was all right. I mean, you didn't pay for my food or anything, but now there's no second date. That's fine.
Well, Sly, look at it this way. Me and Tyler are best friends and we hate each other anyway. So, what are you really missing out on?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Yuko sucks. Moving on. What about Maiko, the little girl?
She's
She was
cute.
fine.
Oh, Sly, you can't say that.
She's cute.
Alright, fair enough.
Her parents are getting a divorce, and it's all her fault.
It's pretty much her fault.
Was it?
No.
No.
That's what Zero told me. I'm just gonna.
I was about to say I don't remember that.
Well, it turns out I might have maybe have had a little bit of misinformation for you. It was intentional, by the way.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
The last time you said that was the last time we did this, which didn't happen, by the way.
First time every time. Well, shut up, Tyler. All right.
Anyways, I didn't get too far in her social link, so I don't know anything about her.
Her whole thing is she's a little kid who's upset that her parents are getting divorced, and they're always yelling at each other and always arguing. And her dad hit her once.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get hit, you know.
Well, Tyler, maybe you shouldn't advocate child abuse.
I don't. but sometimes you just get hit, you know?
Why do we always say these incriminating things? Man, it's not good for us. And at the end of her social link, she's like, "You and me are gonna get married one day," and I'm like,
Don't say that, little girl. That's not
No.
good.
1, I'm gonna die. 2, you're a child. You could reverse those. You should probably reverse those. Man, more incrimination. Go us.
All right, who's next?
Pharaohs, the ghost boy.
Oh. Okay, so who's next?
The French kid.
Oh.
You sound super hyped.
I didn't speak to the French kid because I didn't
He's a
want to.
weeb. He's just flat out a weeb.
Yeah? A weeb in
That's
the true
it.
sense of the word.
Yes. He's like, man, Japan's great. Japanese culture is so much better than where I'm from. And it always has, like, Japanese words written out in his dialogue.
Sly, are you still alive?
I'm alive.
He's just disgusted by the French kid. Because I'm not going to say his name.
even know his name.
I only got to rank 3 on him. I have nothing to say. I didn't like him.
I don't like him enough to keep talking.
Good.
All right, who's next?
Nozomi.
President Tanaka.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Tanaka. He's always around.
Tanaka's
Tanaka
nice.
he's actually one of the decent social links.
I think he's good.
I mean, his location, it leaves a lot to be desired. But
At least in Fez, it's
he's
at
President
night.
Tanaka.
At least in Fez, they changed it so that it's a nighttime one, so it's
So
easier.
you can actually do something at night.
Yeah. Because you couldn't do much at night in vanilla.
No.
What?
Or a lot at all.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you really say about him? I don't remember much of his social link.
You help him reform or something?
Do you, though?
No, because in the next game, he's right back at it.
Proving the social links aren't canon.
And in 5, he's just as worse.
He's slightly more illegal.
But, like, you know,
He has a nice suit.
he's got a nice theme.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh.
Wasn't his character development that he was just doing a little bit more charity work?
Pretty much.
He's still doing the same thing. It's just he's like being a little bit nicer.
And then he gets real shady.
Well,
illegal.
at least he's doing illegal stuff and charity work.
Are you
Sure.
sure?
Sure,
I
man.
don't know. Somebody
Yeah.
gotta fact check that one.
Well, I mean,
man,
they
what-
never state it, but I just assume that, I thought the social link was canon, and so he's just doing more charity work.
Yeah, that explains why he's running a black market online.
No, social links aren't canon because you don't have to do them.
Thus proving the fault with social links.
uh,
Who cares?
Who's next?
Old man, monk man, Mutatsu.
Well, that's... I don't have anything to say about that one.
Man, Tyler, wow, shocking.
I think he's okay. I think he's pretty good.
He's good.
I think
he teaches you things about the world.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, to my wife and my kid, they don't like me.
Well, they just don't like him being a drunk asshole. And
Nah, that's the best part.
and so he just decides, well, I should wake up, and
Grab a bunch, put a little makeup.
yeah, and not do a bunch of drug stuff, and not like send her family into, or I think that they abandoned him, and so he wanted to actually go and
Yeah.
visit them. So
All because he was injecting those marijuanas.
yeah, I mean it's a nice touching one because at the end I think he gets to go in and actually see his family again, and that's basically his desire from the start. And
Yeah, that's nice. That's a good resolution.
it was a fine enough social link. I think it was actually one of the good ones.
If you're noticing a trend here, it's that we don't know a lot about these because they all suck.
Oh yeah, you're right. Except for Akinari. Akinari is great.
We still have 2 more people to get through before we get to him.
Damn it! I want to get to Akinari. He's so good.
How about your mortal nemesis, Mamoru Hayase?
Not Mamoru.
Man, this kid's super great at his sport of choice. Too bad he has to abandon it to work for his family.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, let's be honest.
And
We
he's-
all just do this for Lucifer, so we can get Armageddon.
True.
That's why you do them.
That's basically, and he's fine with it. And he's like,
Do you
yeah,
not want to hang out with Mamoru on his own? For his own
No.
merits?
no. Nobody beats me at kendo, swimming, or track. Nobody.
Very specific sports.
You can beat me at everything else, but not at those. Your boy Nozomi.
He's bad.
He sucks.
He's
the fat
pretty
kid?
bad.
Who
What
is
did you say,
he?
Tyler?
He's
He's
fat.
Yeah,
fat
he's
kid?
he's the fat kid who's kind of like real deep in with a cult.
Oh, that's no good.
And
And then he's always like, "Don't stand next to me. People might think you're cooler, or you're too cool. Don't stand next to me." Something like that.
but he likes food, and I think
He
he's.
does.
I think he became a food critic or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was such a
Something about his dead brother.
yeah. He's
I
kind
don't
of
care.
he's kind of a dick the entire one. So
He deserved it.
can we leave it at that? Go
All
to-
right, Sly. Here you go.
Okay.
We're skipping Akinari.
Fuck off. We are doing Nakanari. I cried at this one. I was so emotionally invested in this one. It is so nice. It is so touching.
I think it's the only objectively good social link in the game.
I think it is the best one. I enjoy like Tanaka and the Tower one, but Akinari is legitimately one of the best ones. I actually missed it my first playthrough. I didn't know about it.
Wow.
And then I did it now,
Ruined everything.
and I loved it. It was so good. It was. I
This
just.
book is canon.
Yeah, it is canon. So that social link is canon.
Is it canon? Is this book canon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Because Kanji references it.
Oh.
So that is the one canon social link, as far as we know, because he wouldn't have been able to write it without the protagonist. So, or
And dying.
yeah, he does kind of die, and you do feel bad
Man.
for him.
He died after dedicating his book to somebody who also died. Tyler, that's not funny.
It is
Sorry,
not funny.
It's kind of funny.
Oh,
You tell Tyler something's not funny and he just laughs even more. Tyler Rims, everybody.
is there any other social links?
C's again.
Pass.
Just progressing up Tartarus.
It's just the plot. So no.
And then there's Igus, but we kind of already covered Igus.
We kind of already covered the social link, yeah. So
And then in Persona 3 Portable, we'll just get it out of the way now. You got new social links?
Yeah.
Junpei replaced Kenji, the biggest upgrade of all.
yeah,
Should have been there from the start.
Yeah.
yeah.
Why can't I hang out with my friends?
Another
Video
big
game.
upgrade. Rio from Kaz.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
My girl Rio.
Yeah.
Bad
Rio.
taste in men, but otherwise you're real good, girl.
Rio loves Kenji.
You shouldn't,
Oh,
Rio.
you shouldn't.
But then you had Ken, and you could romance Ken.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That's not okay.
He's like,
I just want to pretend
old
that
enough.
it's the protagonist saying, "Well, sure, Ken, I can be in
No.
a relation." Is it?
No.
Is it not? I haven't
No.
Finished it. Oh.
No,
Oh no.
no, Sly.
Oh, no.
You spend time alone in his room with him.
Oh no.
Sly,
Oh.
no. You can't pretend that. Your headcanon
Please.
isn't real.
Please tell me that's a joke. That's terrible.
Sly, after this, I will find you a
Oh
video.
no, I'm not watching it.
I don't have a choice now.
I refuse.
And then, instead of your teacher, that nobody cares about now, because she's the inferior dateable teacher. Well, quote-unquote dateable. Yeah, Saori, which she's kind of hot for the female protagonist, and let's be fair, who isn't? But then you had Ryoji, and Ryoji's not interesting. Akihiko. Man, did Akihiko Social Link improve him.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Akihiko. You became an actual character. You were something other than a pretty face. But Shinjiro, though, whoa. You got to learn about Shinjiro in a very dense and compact time period.
It's kind of sad, to be honest.
Yeah, and he almost explicitly gets in there.
Yeah.
Because you go to your room, and he's like, I might not be able to stop myself. And you're just like, alright, dude, bring it.
I actually have not finished Persona 3 Portable, and so I have not finished a lot of the social links, the new ones.
Yeah, well, you're casual.
I did go through the games, or some of the social links, and they were pretty good. I think I got through, like, a couple of them. I didn't get to Shinji, which I hear that one was really good.
Yeah, it's alright. I think that covers all the social links now.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into Tartarus and all of the gameplay. Let's talk about the gameplay.
It's bad.
It's not great.
It's real bad.
It's not the best.
You can be able to adjust to the game's rules, but it's not amazing.
See, you say this, but even when you adjust to the game's rules, it's still trash. It's not amazing, it's trash.
It's functional.
I'll fight you, Sly.
It is absolutely functional, even if you do adjust to the game's rules. Because here's the...
I don't know.
I can excuse a few things for the shift between the games from 2 to 3. The gameplay is not one of them. The gameplay... I'll use this word again. The gameplay gets objectively worse.
I have not played Persona 2, so I can't really be able to say whether it's better or worse.
You still control your whole party in Persona 2.
Mm-hmm. The thing about Persona 3 is that it does give you quite a good bit of options to be able to kind of have control. But, you know, like I said, you're not selecting everyone. But they do give you enough that you can control the flow of battle.
Sure, you can put Yukari on heal support if you want. She's not going to heal you when you really need it, but she'll be there.
Yeah, the way healing works in Persona 3 is that the healer will... If everybody is at the same general level and low in health, she will use Meteor on. Otherwise, if someone is like substantially less in need of healing, then she'll use Diran on them. So what can unfortunately happen, it actually is dependent on the numerical value. So it's just like if Akihiko is at 132 health and you are at 133 health, but the other person is at full health, then Yukari will use Diran on Akihiko because he had 1 point lower. I have had that happen before. It's why you kind of need to have a healer on backup.
It's because it's dumb.
It's
not good.
The healing AI is the worst part of the game, or the worst part of the artificial intelligence. That
in that day and age, in good old 2000 whatever, you should be able to control your full party member no matter what.
I agree. I'm not defending the fact that it shouldn't have been like I'm not saying that
It sounded a little defendy.
Okay. Let me clarify. I'm not defending the fact that it is better or it shouldn't have had full party control. There absolutely should have been full party control. There is no reason why the AI shouldn't be there. My defense is that there are ways you can manipulate it so that it is playable and tolerable. I wouldn't call it...
You shouldn't have to manipulate it.
You shouldn't! But my point is, you do have the ability to manipulate it to your advantage. Like, Knockdown does let you have... It does a pretty good job in letting the AI just focus on the weakness targets. There are ways you can do it. My problem with Knockdown is that it's actually unlocked like a couple months later. It should have been available from the start. That's why I say early Persona 3 is not great. It's pretty bad from a gameplay perspective.
middle Persona 3 is not great, nor is late Persona 3. But
I'm just saying that in terms of a
that's
gameplay
my
experience.
joke out of the way.
I'm just saying, I can be able to play Persona 3. Like, I played it a couple years ago, or I think a year and a half, and I still think the game is fine. It's not great. It's not enjoyable. Persona 4 and Persona 5 are objectively better, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's all I'll say about the combat. I can tolerate it, and I don't mind playing it. But
I'm not finished with you, combat.
Okay. I've said my piece, so floor is to you, Zero.
Man, I don't care if you feel great or if you feel tired. Your status does not matter to me.
That's a weird mechanic, the status thing.
Man, I'm feeling great. I'm gonna hit more crits and stuff. Oh, I feel bad. I'm gonna miss more. I'm gonna fall down. Oh, we're all dead now.
The condition...
It's another thing that's like, yeah, it's kind of realistic, sure, but like in a game, come on.
Yeah, the way it works in P3 is that, when you're early level, you get tired more easily, but by the time you get to like level 50, it's gonna take you so long till you're tired. That being said, Persona 3 Portable makes it so long till you're tired, it might as well not even be there. So, point 1 for Portable.
Are you saying Persona 3 Portable does a lot of things better than people give it credit for? I'm saying that. Fight me.
Persona 3 Portable, from a gameplay perspective, is absolutely better. My problem with Persona 3 Portable is that from a presentation standpoint, it is cheap as fuck, and it is very hard for me to be able to push through that story with that.
Be cheaper.
Like I said,
don't texture any of the areas.
They don't
all wireframe.
Yeah, and the visual novel cutscenes with the Persona 3 expressions, the expressions, there aren't a ton of them, but the point of the portraits in the original is just kind of to distract you from the kind of low poly PS2 models
It's fine.
in the original game. Because, like, you do look at Nocturne, and the models look a lot better. It's because Persona 3 and 4 didn't have as much of a budget back then. Because Atlus considered SMT to actually be the bigger franchise. And that...
Persona's the mainline series now.
Yeah, it's way better. Or way bigger. Not better. Well, some people debate about it being better. But it is definitely the priority of Atlus and their budgeting. So, I mean... Shin Megami Tensei basically got shelved as the 3DS series until 5.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, there's not enough portraits for it to, be a good visual novel experience, because visual novels, I think having a lot of diverse portraits is absolutely essential, because they are the only things you're going to be looking at. And it's why I praise games like Ace Attorney for having the most... I mean, they're technically not portraits, they're sprites, but they have the most animated sprites/portraits in any visual novel I see. And I think for Persona 3, like, a lot of the characters have, like, I think they have, like, 5 or so expressions a lot of the time.
They have enough.
It's not enough for a visual novel, though, because you get really bored.
I didn't even sound convinced.
Huh?
I didn't sound convinced myself. So...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I need to pay more attention.
Kind of being sarcastic. Anyway, long story short, combat sucks.
Tartarus
also sucks.
It's bad.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna say this one thing.
Should I go first on this one?
Okay.
I'm gonna be the shortest one here.
Okay.
You know what, Tyler?
Go ahead.
You know what? You start.
Go ahead.
All right. So one, Tartarus is bad. We all know that.
Yeah.
Its music is all right, but like there's no variation. Like it's barely like each new level you get like a new instrument added. The barriers are dumb because I mean once you finish it you don't really have a reason to go back to that level until like you gotta save someone, which is also just weird because there's not a good checkpoint system in Tartarus. The level layout's bland. There's so many rooms with that one ramp in the corner. You know the one.
Yeah, I know the one.
And they all look the same. Like, the level layout's all the same, with new textures. Well, not new, but different.
Here's a small staircase, and then a plateau, and then another small staircase.
Yeah, that's it. It's just dumb.
Tartarus sucks.
It's not great. It's not great at all. And it's really monotonous. Like, I never actually want to go into Tartarus ever. Because it's not a fun time. And
It's the worst.
I mean, the monthly dungeons or whatever they're a bit more diverse, which is fine, but like once a night, that's not enough.
It's
Not once a night,
enough.
once a month, one night a month. It's just not. It's not enough time to sink in that whole area, you know. It's not great. All right, who's next? Go ahead.
Zero.
I think he said all that needs to be said for me.
Okay. I'll just say this one thing. I understand why they went with the roguelike structure, because they did go in and say that they did have, several looking anime cutscenes, which just as a side note, I don't think they look amazing. I know some people have said that they're stylized, but I think that they've aged really bad. But
saying something is stylized when they just look bad is just kind of lying to yourself.
But
I don't look in the mirror and say, "Man, I look pretty stylized today." No, I'm just ugly.
But in terms of the roguelike, they did that because they put in like a bunch of anime cutscenes and a bunch of voice line dialogue, and it took up a lot of disk space. They actually went in and said that was the reason, because they had so much voiced content that on a PlayStation 2 disc, and the anime cutscenes and stuff, it just took up so much, and they had to be able to have some sort of compensation, and the dungeons ended up being the way that it compensated. So because they went for so much, they did try to go in and have this sort of social aspect. I kind of understand where they were going for. That being said, Tartarus is... I hesitate to call it bad, because I have not played any other roguelike. I don't play any other roguelike style dungeons, so I don't know or have any basis for comparison. That being said, Tartarus is, out of all the different dungeon styles between 3, 4, and 5, especially 5, 3 is without a doubt the weakest. And I think my biggest issues with it is the fact that the visuals, I mean, they technically do, like, one of them's like a Rainbow Road-like area in gold, but aside from that, the music is pretty much the same, aside from, it steadily building, adding a few more instruments. It does make it feel very repetitious, because it's kind of hard for me to be able to articulate this, but basically, because the music is always the same, because the general design of the dungeon is all pretty much identical every single block, they don't have any gimmicks, which Persona 4 somewhat compensated, or because they had a few dungeon-specific gimmicks that made each of them stand out. My point is, even for a roguelike dungeon, I don't think they're the best. I'll admit that. The dungeons of Persona 3 are not amazing. I did enjoy the aspect of, okay, you can be able to go as far as you can, and, you can try to push to go to higher floors if you want, but every floor you go, and you are at a greater risk of actually going in. You lose HP and SP as you go along, and you have a risk of actually dying. So you have to have a choice when you go to like a checkpoint point, or like not like the Tartarus blocks or the checkpoint bosses, but they like each like floor, or some of the floors will allow you to warp back. So you do have to decide if you're actually strong enough to be able to go in and push on. I kind of like that aspect of Tartarus. Aside from that, I I can understand why people get repetitious. I kind of get a little numb when playing through Tartarus.
It'd be a bit better if you could warp back to the floor that you were last on, instead of, I don't know, whichever one's closest. Because sometimes you want to go to a specific floor and they're like, nope, gotta run up 9 more floors before you get to the one you want.
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, running through Tartarus, I can understand why people find it pretty repetitious, because a lot of roguelike dungeons are pretty repetitious, and it's really hard for me to be able to go in and critique it. But yeah, I definitely agree that in comparison to 4 and 5, it's the weakest dungeon. It has the weakest dungeon design, and I kind of wish they had more of those mini dungeons. Like the one for, which boss was it? The one where Minato and Yukari have to be together. I wish...
The Love Hotel.
Oh, the Love Hotel. Aside from the fact that you're forced to be with Yukari, so if you didn't level her up, you're screwed. I didn't like that design. That's bad. But aside from that, I wish there were more dungeons like the Love Hotel scattered throughout to kind of help make Tartarus feel like less repetitious. Maybe they could have went in and made each Tartarus block shorter, and each shadow has a sort of bigger dungeon. So it's almost like the idea of having the mementos in Persona 5, except you have to go in and do a few memento stuff, and you can feel free to grind. And then when you have to go to that one day, you have to be as fully prepared as you can. I actually do like that part of Persona 5 or Persona 3, is that instead of you getting everything done all in one day, you have to actually prepare for the shadow, and so you have no idea how strong they are. Sadly, the bosses aren't really all that strong, so it kind of mitigates that point a little bit, but I did like that basic concept. I wouldn't mind another Persona game tackling it.
Man, for being put on the spot, that was very well thought out, and it makes my point sound kind of lame in comparison, but it's also true. It's only 3 words, and forgive me for anyone who can hear this. Tartarus fucking sucks.
I thought you were gonna say eat my dick, but okay.
No, I'm not making anybody else take a shot.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on Tartarus.
Yeah, I like a lot of ideas that Tartarus presents, but in terms of execution, it's not as good as it could have been. That's basically my point. I personally don't think it's terrible or bad. I still enjoy going through it sometimes, but after playing Persona 5, I don't know if that point will stand, to be honest. I really love the structured dungeons in that game.
Playing through it the first time, or after playing Persona 4, I was like, oh man, Tartarus.
Yeah, after that last bit, I was unsure if you were just talking about Tartarus or Persona 3 as a whole.
Okay, I was talking about Tartarus.
Yes, all the way.
I mean, in terms of Persona 3 in general, we'll talk about the impression. I guess we might do wrap up, later, so.
Yeah, I think we still have a few more points to go.
Yeah.
We could go through... Well, we already talked about, the Fem route, kinda.
No Kenji, 10 out of 10.
Let's talk about the journey. No, the answer.
The answer
sucks. Floors to
And
you, Zero. I haven't played it.
There are people we know who like the answer, but one of them is well known for liking bad things.
Oh, is it him? He likes the answer? Oh, okay. Okay.
He is within our Discord group.
Yeah.
But we still love him no matter his bad taste.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Well, nobody loves you.
You're right.
But I guess as a protagonist, not good. I guess it's like, oh man, I'm the wild card now. Look at my Orpheus.
Oh, does she show it off?
No, I'm playing it up.
Oh, okay.
That's my gimmick.
Ah, got it.
Also that I'm mad all the time. But I really felt like it walked back Aigis' character route. Because it's just like, yeah, look at me, I'm feeling, I'm crying, I'm human. And then the protagonist dies and she's like, this sucks. This is what being human is? This is emotions? I don't want any part of this. And then that's what happens. I guess her arc gets walked back. And then here's Metis, basically the first shadow that we're familiar with. First shadow self we're familiar with. I mean, Persona 2 kind of had them, but kind of didn't. It's weird. Metis is cool. She's better than Igus. She beat up Ken. That was pretty hype.
Oh, I need to see that. I need to see that. That sounds great.
Yeah, she destroys him. And, like, there's no Persona Compendium, like I said earlier, so that blows. You have to grind. If someone says you don't have to grind in the answer, they're lying to your face. And
Ugh.
it's harder.
Well, it's on hard mode by default.
Yeah. It's just locked in there.
For no reason.
No compendium, lots of grinding, defaults to hard. Not good. That's bad.
I
The
heard
story of it's okay.
I heard it's around an hour and 30 minutes of story and about 40 hours of grinding.
Sounds about right.
Ugh. That does not sound fun. Not with Persona 3's gameplay. Like, I tolerate Persona 3's gameplay, but man, if I was to do that 40 hours back to back, I'd probably lose my humanity.
Well, more than you already have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. They have good characterization. Metis is good. The labyrinth that opens up under the dorm, because that's a thing.
Just a labyrinth there?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like in the dining area, there's just a staircase that goes down, and there's a big desert of doors.
It's weird.
It's very strange.
No one talked about it?
And then you...
I don't remember the exact reasoning, but it was born from everybody and their feelings. Like probably about the protagonist. It's a very Danganronpa 3 thing.
No.
That part's not good.
And then the answer formed the
Like,
Dorkun
they
joke.
they keep repeating the same day. Like because they're all stuck in the past and none of them really want to move forward. And then they're like, "Oh man, we got to move forward, or our leader's sacrifice is meaningless." And then they fight. They all get a key, right? And the keys individually don't do anything. I could be misremembering this. Don't be mean to me. Individually, the keys do nothing. Once you decide as a group what to do, you can unlock a door. Like, one's to the front of the dorm. One's to the protagonist's room. And then there's a third one. In the lobby of the dorm that just goes to the mall. It just goes to the mall.
What's the one in the mall do?
So you can go buy items and equipment.
Oh.
There's just a door to the mall. But the key also works on that door. But they're not smart enough to figure that out for a long time. So they all kind of like divide into teams. Yukari and Mitsuru are the ones who are like, yeah, let's go back. Let's go see this guy I like. Mitsuru doesn't actually think that. She's just standing by Yukari because Yukari stood by her. And on one hand, good on you, Mitsuru. On the other one, are you joking? You're doing this now? We're fighting, Mitsuru. That's what we're doing.
And then
Akihiko and Kin team up because their team let's keep moving forward with our lives, aka the correct ones. And it pains me to say Kin is right about something. Junpei and Koromaru are team. Let's maybe all chill out. There's no chilling out. And Igus and Metis are team. I don't know what I want to do.
Really?
And Fuka's like, I'll give my key to whoever wins. So they all
Sounds
go
like
to this
me.
Coliseum
I don't
because
wanna
there's a
fight.
Coliseum. Well, Fuka can't fight.
Yeah, but
She might slap somebody, I don't know. They all go to this Coliseum and duke it out. Nobody fights each other. But Aigis and Metis have to fight them all.
What?
Yeah, nobody else fights between each other. But because you're playing as Aigis and Metis is with Aigis because they're sisters. Quote-unquote sisters. Metis is just Aigis' humanity. Spoilers. Sorry. Don't play the answer. It's bad.
I wouldn't. Well, maybe I'll play it.
Sly, I already, we had this discussion. And Yukari loses. Like, super hard. And she's just like, give me the key. I want to see him again. And then everybody's just like, no. How about this? Let's use the key, the one key now in Aigis' possession, because she's the winner. Because she has to be. You're playing as her. She's the worst protagonist in Persona history. Fight me. Unlock this door. Let's go fight the real enemy. And that's the thing that Elizabeth keeps smacking down every year. That you learn about in Arena or whatever.
Yeah.
If you didn't play the answer. And it's just like, yeah, let's fight this thing. This is the real bad thing. And it's not easy. It's a hard fight. It's cool. I just spammed Thunder Rain. It worked. And then Yukari just gets over everything at the end. Like, all are grieving. Done. Why don't you room with me in the next dorm, I guess? And I was like, yeah, cool. You were kind of a bitch, but sure. That's the answer.
Huh. Okay.
It sucks. It's alright. I'm being unreasonably harsh because I'm tired.
But
It's fine. I wouldn't play it. Not again. Neither should you.
okay.
so what about that music?
It's alright.
It's great.
No, it's not.
It's amazing.
alright.
I love it.
What's your favorite track, Sly?
It's my favorite track.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm a very boring man, and I like
That's
battling
accurate.
for my souls. So, you know.
You like important music.
Final boss theme in Persona 3 is... It's my favorite in the Persona series. I still think it hasn't been topped. If Rivers in the Desert...
exists.
If Rivers in the Desert was a final boss theme, it would have topped it. But, since it's not... Battle for Everyone's
If you're
Souls.
like me and play Rivers in the Desert during every battle you're in, it's a final boss theme.
Well, I guess technically, but I didn't do that, so...
Well, I'm smarter than you.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
not
that
accurate.
anyone... I don't think anyone was questioning that. In fact,
should.
I think that was just an understood fact. Therefore, you didn't even need to say it.
Now I look foolish. I can't believe the scenario's been reversed like this.
Yeah.
I don't like most of Persona 3's music. Please don't hurt me. But
Mass
also fight me.
Destruction. So good.
The female protagonist has better music.
That's wrong.
It's completely correct.
It is wrong.
It's totally correct.
Wiping all out is so much more inferior to Mass Destruction.
You're wrong.
You just don't like the babies.
I love the babies.
The babies are great. That's why Mass Destruction is so good. I love...
My
I love
favorite-
Drake and Josh.
My favorite track is
Tyler, don't.
the dorm track. You know the one.
Tyler,
I was about to say Iwatodai dorm rooms. Those have
Yeah.
good tracks.
So dance.
Um,
While I put you in a trance.
I like that track. I like the track that plays in the
Just
Iwatodai
gonna kill
dorm
myself.
in January. That's a good track. I like the track that plays when you're in the world menu, or not world menu, you know, just town map. And when you're traveling
that's
around.
basically your world.
Yeah. And when you're traveling basically everywhere but the dorms during the January month. I forgot the track, but that's a really good track too. Love the second semester school theme. About the only set of tracks that I'm not really a big fan of is Tartarus, because it's kind of boring.
Someone's gonna listen to this one day and be like, they don't know the names of all the tracks. What a bunch of casuals.
I know Mass Destruction and Battle for Everyone's
Sorry,
Souls.
dude.
And Burn My Dread Last Battle. Those are good. I remember those.
Depends on your definition.
That's it. It's 3. So yeah.
Well, there's only really one more major thing we gotta talk about.
What's that, Tyler?
It's the movies.
The movies are an alright adaptation.
They're pretty good.
Except one glaring flaw.
Which one's that?
When their personas evolve. Remember in the game where their personas all evolved because of their resolution to stand up and fight for their futures? Remember when they happened arbitrarily in one fight scene during the movie?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Remember how terrible that was?
That was pretty bad.
How offended I was, even though I don't like Persona 3 that much? Oh, look at all this character development we're throwing away.
That was the low point of the films. Otherwise, I think, it's like if you wanted to watch Persona 3 in movie form,
You could do it.
you could do it.
It'd be fine.
It's fine enough. It also gives
They did Junpei and Chidori pretty well.
Minato somewhat of a character. It's not near as
Sort of.
no, sort of, but I mean it's
Toward the end when they all realized they were going to die, they did some cool stuff, like Yukari going to the hospital because I guess she was just exhausted and not eating or whatever.
yeah.
That was kind of neat. That would be pretty accurate to their situation.
People wanted an answer movie, but
I don't.
would that be a good idea? I don't know. I haven't seen the answer. So,
Man, you're kind of lucky.
yeah.
Long story short, Persona 3 is the worst modern Persona game. And, if you think otherwise, you're wrong.
I like it more than 4.
You're wrong.
Yeah, that's actually a wrong opinion.
There are no wrong opinions, but that one's pretty bad.
But it's not wrong.
I don't know.
We'll find out next time.
We'll find out in part 2, where
We'll get to that.
we talk about Persona 4 and everyone realizes how much of an idiot I am.
Good thing your voice cut off in Discord, because I'm pretty sure you just said something I wouldn't like.
Oh. Well, you'll have to find out when the video goes up.
Man, you think I'm gonna watch through 2 hours of this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna skim through it, but I'm not gonna watch it. Are you crazy?
I'm gonna see if I actually say anything really bad. And then if I do, I'm gonna ask somebody to take it down.
So yeah, Persona 3 is the greatest modern Persona game. I'm kidding. Persona 5 is.
And then 4, and then 3.
No, it's 3
We'll
then
get
4.
to that. You're wrong.
I am not wrong.
You are objectively wrong.
I can't be objectively wrong about a correct
And now
opinion.
the argument starts. It was only a matter of time.
And it's at the end.